But now that I'm in there and I've seen people do 30, 40, 50, 60K in a month, then started to just question everything else, right? Because, so you don't want to be too aggressive and say, hey, by the way, I'm going to pitch you this.
Yeah, you just ask easy questions and like, did you get a chance to check out our program? That's what you're getting hired for. You're getting hired for people to pay now, not just to convince them that like, oh, I really want it, but like, yeah, next month I'm totally down. Okay, I'll follow up with you then. No. The shit that like I learned in door to door. There's so many of these things creating the urgency.
People are used to the follow up and I need to think about it, I need to talk to that person. Oh yeah, no worries, right? Oh no. When you're closing, yes, you should worry. You should absolutely worry.
That's what the skill that you're learning. That's this whole game. That's how motherfuckers are making 20K a month, 30K a month.
Living their life. We just living our life. Parking plots, living our life. We just living our life.
We're gonna be in, that's cool. We have this place for 3 more weeks. Okay. And yeah, it's almost up. So what time is your flight?
5:45.
5:45. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is the view. It's the carpet, entranceway here, stairs, and infinity pool view. This is the stragglers from the clubs. Why is it stuck? Yo, Chris, this is my boy Jerry.
Hey, Chris, nice to meet you.
Good.
Give you the tour. That's my boy Jeremy. That's Jerry. Very nice. It's the spot out here. I'll give you the tour of the gym. So you get these online on Lazada. Ordered this barbell from 200 bucks for a premium one. Assault bike. That's gonna be about $1,000. Weights, you can get these online, maybe 100 bucks for a set. Shout out iCoolSport.com. Parker found this online. It's one of the nicest ones that you can get that's inflatable. It's about $1,000 for this. And then jump over here. We have an ice delivery every week. And so they come and they stock this up every week. And then move over here. This I found on Lazada. This is one of the more budget squat rigs, but it's pretty sturdy. It's good. It's like, this is the best bang for your buck that I could find. It's pretty good on Lazada. It's about 400 bucks. And then this sauna, these sell online for maybe... yeah, you know it's the fucking, this is the holy grail right here.
How long does it take to set this up?
Not long. I mean, you just have like a handyman do it. So, or like a moving company or whatever. Damn, okay. They just take all the pieces down, put it into a truck, bring it, assemble it. Right. So this morning I got in here, came up, turn it on, it heats up in like 10 minutes. Fill this up with the hose. Dump the ice in, do 2 rounds back and forth. Come over here, you know, get some power cleans in, get the assault bike, do some yoga, stretching, get some sun. And so basically, I don't leave this place.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying, like, I like to have everything where I'm working.
So I'll show you the office setup. So we got the money going here.
Yeah.
So I haven't even rung it this week. We did get 2 new clients this week, so boom. And we'll talk about you doing closing in a second. But yeah, this is the most productive setup I've ever had. So 4K monitor, nice. Fucking love it. LG 4K, that's like $1,000. This is the 1080 Logitech Stream Cam, but this is also 1080 in here. So they're basically the same.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, I got these. So these are like lights for videos and just like at nighttime it looks sick. You know, just do nice little color, or if you want to have one white, one like branding color, whatever. So for calls. This is the Poly V Focus, complete noise cancellation, so there can be music playing in the background. Like they won't hear anything.
And I can see it's got a microphone as well, so the chorus must be really good.
Yeah. So complete noise canceling one. Just keep it on the charger here. And then, so yeah, that's just that part of the house. Over here, whole kitchen. Yeah, ping pong table. So this is kind of the dining area slash 2 more desks. So 1 desk, 2 desks, and normally there's 3rd desk here. Yeah, fridge.
Fur looks really soft.
Yeah, it's a luxury designer cat. And so for the first couple months, like we had a chef like cooking healthy food like every day. So you can do that if you want. Yeah. Full-time chef will be about $600 a month. But recently I've been doing the Pure Prep place in Rawai, just like healthy meal prep. They deliver it every day. So you can do that out here. So I'll show you the downstairs. Here's the lights in action. Come down here, the marble floor. First order operations. We got the movie theater.
What? Wow.
Yeah. Full
Yeah, this is
blown
sick.
movie theater.
This is sick. This is.
Yeah.
This is. I've seen a lot of like. This is a very nice villa, but I've never seen a movie theater in one. I actually can't believe this.
Netflix movie theater.
This is now reminding me of. You remember MTV Cribs?
Yeah, I have a series called Airbnb Cribs.
Really?
We're gonna be filming it next.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Artwork.
And so, movie theater / after party room if you want to party all night. You know, no windows. And then let me show you one more thing. And then we have the gym.
It's cool in here as well.
So yeah,
Wow.
you can turn the aircon in here. I do my emails. You can put your laptop up here. And I do my morning emails for like an hour, sometimes 2 hours, just on like a,
Really?
little bit of incline walk.
Okay, yeah.
Crucial. I wish I discovered it sooner, but I only discovered it in the past like couple months. But yeah, game changer. I just love waking up in the morning, just walking out here to this view.
I forgot that there was even another.
All right.
forgot about this.
All right, best part for last. I'll show you the master. Check it out. So you come in here.
What the? Is that a walk-in wardrobe?
Let me just show you the bathroom.
Wait, what?
This is the bathroom.
This is the bathroom. Oh my god.
It's as big as my room. The bathroom is as big as my room.
This is insane.
This is bigger than most condos in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Huge walk-in closet over here.
And this shower with like light.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
insane. What?
Yeah. View here, this tub,
Wow. Sick.
and yeah, so one of the craziest master baths I've ever seen. Come over here to the actual room.
Even the lobby area.
Yeah, even the lobby is like bigger than like a Bangkok apartment.
Wow. This is sick. Oh my god. Wait, is that another pool up there as well?
There's another bedroom here. This is the king room, that's the queen room. Not as big, but still really big. And so if you do like a year lease, you're looking at like 30K a month. If you're looking at Airbnb, like just 1 month on Airbnb, maybe a year lease, maybe like you're getting like 25,000. Maybe month to month on Airbnb, maybe like 30, 35. And then per night, you're looking around like $2,000.
Yeah.
You're looking at like $2,000 a night. That's the deal.
This is like basically for bed for like content.
Yeah.
Videos, like music videos.
Like if you're I was just saying the other day, like if you're the headline DJ at like Illusion, like you'll stay here.
Yeah.
Like if you're a celebrity, if you're content creators, be here at the Super Mansion. So yeah, it's been a great year. Now that I'm here and like I've experienced this, like I'm like, okay, now I need to be making like 30K a month, 40, 50. How do I get to 100K a month? Like, like and keep this up. Like how do you? This place is hard to match.
And that's how it should be. It should be like you keep improving levels. You don't want to go backwards.
All right. It's been 3 years since the Canggu Villa.
2. Was that 2020?
That was, I guess that was 2020. No. That was 2021 first half.
Yeah.
That was 2021 first half. That's when I did 6 months in Bali. And then I came to Phuket. And now it's been a year and a half in Phuket.
Yeah.
And just finishing the year at this spot. And then where have you been? You've been in Bali.
In Bali most of the time. Last 3 years, been in Bali. Went back to London for 3 weeks. That was a long 3 weeks. And I left Bali in February this year. Went to Bangkok. So yeah, you were in Bali.
Yeah.
But I was so pissed off with like power cuts for 2 months. Kept going out when I was working both jobs, and especially the sales calls. So I was trying to close someone. I've handled their objections, and then now we're going through the checkout process, and they're figuring out, and poof, power's gone. Can't get them back on. So I like lost 2 or 3 deals like through that, and I just remember the last power cut I had in Feb. Within 48 hours, I booked, packed hand luggage, and just flew to Bangkok.
Yeah, you're like so fucking pissed. Yeah.
Like I had my standing desk, my whole setup, my chair, everything in Bali. I just left it. And I wish I left sooner because being in Thailand is so productive.
So you were in Canggu, right?
Yeah.
And was this power cuts during the rainy season?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. In Southeast Asia, it happens. It happens here in Phuket.
Really?
Yeah, the power cuts, they happen here. I mean, it's in all of Southeast Asia, but in Bangkok, it's a lot less frequent.
Right, okay.
They got their shit. Because in the island places, like maybe some of these villas, like this past rainy season, though, in Southeast Asia, people were saying it was the worst in the last 10 to 20 years. The strongest rains.
Oh, okay.
In the past 10 to 20 years. So, yeah, if you're watching this, power cuts can be a thing. It's like raining. Oh, shit, the power goes out. It could be overnight. It could be 1 hour. You don't know.
And because it's, when you're on an island, it's that kind of island mentality. It's like, well, you know.
Yeah, but what about your hotspot, though?
So there's no 5G in Bali, right?
Okay.
There's 5G in like Jakarta and other parts of Indonesia, but there's no 5G in...
What about 4G?
4G is too slow.
It's too slow for video calls? Like,
Yeah.
Really? You
So
can't
it's
do a
like
call with that?
my hotspot, I had Telkomsel, and it would go to like 5 or 10 meg per second,
Okay.
which is just terrible. Like anything less than 35 is quite bad. We had 100 meg in our villa, but then when it would start raining too heavy, even if the power didn't go out, for whatever reason, the internet connection would start getting choppy as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
all over Bali. The last video we did, we were talking about like Canggu versus
Versus Chiang Mai? Or Canggu versus Bangkok?
yeah, or maybe just Canggu versus being in Thailand in general.
Uh-huh.
Because when people think of Indonesia, it's really to think of Bali.
Yeah.
When people think of Thailand, you have different options.
Yeah.
That people kind of
You
go
got to
to.
specify.
Right. So people have been asking me, saying, "Oh, in that video with Riley, like you seem to love Canggu now."
Yeah. It's so crazy how it's changed. And the main reason I hear is because of like it's getting packed.
Yeah.
And so I want to do this. Let's do Canggu versus Bangkok because we've both done
Okay.
time there a lot. And
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I'm fucking sweating, let's get some towels. I don't know what's up with the aircon. All right, Canggu versus Bangkok. You have been in Canggu for most of the past few years, and now you've been in Bangkok for how long?
3 months.
3 months. All right, what's your takeaway of Bangkok?
Things just work. Right? That was the first thing.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Bangkok, typically people think about, and I had this impression as well, Koh San Road, the backpacker part. Like you just go there and you have like just weird things, people getting drunk and all that kind of stuff, right? Like scorpions on sticks,
yeah.
like all this
Yeah.
like exotic stuff. But there's a luxury side to Bangkok as well. These condos with infinity pools, a gym, like the condo I'm staying in now, a steam room, and it's cheap. It's like $577 a month.
Ooh.
Like really, really cheap, yeah. So if you want to spend more, you'll get an even nicer condo. So it's at this point now, I don't go places just because of the cost of living. It's like things have to work.
Mm-hmm.
And in Canggu, there's no standardization. Like the roads are bad, internet's poor. Like generally, if you have 100 meg, it's like wow. If you have 50 meg, people are like, this is really, really good. The place I'm staying in Bangkok is 300, 350.
Yeah, you got
Right.
Yeah, they got fiber
5G's
everywhere.
Yeah, fiber optic and 5G's been rolled out everywhere. So if you wanted a hotspot, you could do that. Whereas in Canggu, you can't. So typically when people are thinking about Bangkok versus Canggu or Bali in general, they're thinking from the mindset of, the beaches, the partying and stuff like that. But when you actually want to get stuff done consistently, Canggu and Bali in general, there's so many things that can trip you up. The traffic, just getting from one place to another because there's one road, right? There's one shortcut that everyone tries to go to, cars, bikes. Being in Phuket, I haven't seen roads built up like this since leaving Europe.
The roads are
Right.
so smooth and wide.
so good. So you're less likely to crash. Right? I know so many people that have gone into accidents. So the thing about Canggu is the community. Obviously, I was there for 3 years. The community I built there, all my friends are within a 30-minute radius. So that's fun.
Yeah.
But at this point, not all I care about, but the majority of my time, I'm just thinking about how can I increase how much I'm making.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm spending most of my time indoors anyway. So it doesn't really matter if I'm close to everyone because I'm not going to see them.
Grind mode.
Yeah, it's like, and I find that when you go to Bangkok, you can just land, get a condo, and just plug in and things work. Right, there's shopping centers that are 7 floors that are like within 5 or 10 minutes from wherever you are. So it's just easy to kind of find something if you don't have it. The condo I'm in now is like face recognition everywhere. Like there's no key card. So face scanning on the door, the lifts, everything. And it's just, I think after being in like an island where so many things are broken, I felt like a tourist like the first week or two, just like taking pictures like, wow, look at all this technology. And now I'm flying back to Bali on Monday. And I'm like, it'll be good to see everyone. It's kind of like me saying bye before I go to Brazil. But I just know it's a step back. I've just got to get used to like things just not working again.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, Bangkok is like, I call it the tropical Buddhist New York City. It's fucking New York City, bro. It's so nice. And so what area are you in?
Asok.
Yeah.
Is it Asok or Asoke?
Asok. I say Asok.
Yeah.
Asok. And so, yeah, that's the heart of Bangkok, Sukhumvit area. That's where you want to be, bros. Anywhere from Asok to Prompong to Tonglo to Ekamai to Prakanong. That whole strip right along the BTS SkyTrain, that's Sukhumvit area. I'm in Tonglo/Ekamai. There's so many fucking gyms. There's on every BTS station is a huge mall or two. And it's just, I mean, I've just met so many people that are just like, Bangkok is the best city in the fucking world in terms of it's clean.
Yeah.
It's got the
Very
SkyTrain.
clean.
It's got motorbike taxis. Of course, it's got Grab Food, Food Panda, and a million of that shit. You can get any fucking food from anywhere in 5 seconds. And then you got the nightlife, right? Like infinity clubs and the rooftop bars. World class, bro. World class.
Yeah, really, the view of the city. I've only been to one. When I was in Bangkok, I was in my room. I was in my room sitting down working in March so long that my right knee started to swell up. Right, so that it was necessary though, because I knew April I'd be traveling around a lot more. So I've only been to a rooftop bar once, but yeah, the view is breathtaking.
Yeah.
I think the thing about Bangkok is, and Asia in general, it's safe. So typically when you're in a big city like that, you have to kind of know the areas to avoid and stuff like that. Whereas, and I'm sure they're in Bangkok as well, but it's just not, you walk around not feeling like you're going to deal with the negatives of a big city.
Yeah.
Compared to like London or somewhere else.
Yeah.
So,
Any major city in the US, like if you're downtown in certain areas, but I've never heard of that in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Even like purse snatchings, which in Saigon, Vietnam, you'll see here and there, pretty rare. In Bangkok, like I've almost never heard of like people getting jacked or like even like petty theft stuff. Yeah, very, very safe. Thai culture, Buddhist culture. You'll see monks walking around, Thai temples everywhere. Feel free to walk in there and, do some praying, meditating, like whatever you want. So tropical Buddhist New York City. And then, if you want to go wild and crazy, then you can do that. But if you want to go to a super nice condo that might have a sauna in there, might have a gym in there, a pool in there, it might even have like, my condo had on the top like a co-working space area. Like, like all during COVID, I was working in this co-working space area at the very top, and it's basically all to myself. And so there's just unlimited condos from the $500 range all the way up to $1,000, all the way up to $1,500, $2,000, and it's kind of how big you want to get and how close to the BTS do you want to get. It's basically it. And so is your condo like you stop at the Asok BTS station and then you take a motorbike taxi directly to your condo?
I've never used the BTS.
You've never used it?
I've only used Grab. Yeah.
Oh, you just grab car
bike,
or grab a car?
Both. Grab bike or grab car.
Yeah.
I've switched to using Grab car because the way they ride in Bangkok is a bit reckless.
Yeah, yeah. It can be
bikes,
scary.
Yeah, the bikes are a bit... they're just going. And because I think the roads are so well built, they can pick up speed really, really fast. Mm-hmm. So I'm on the back thinking, you know what? I don't need to do this. I can just get a car, right?
Yeah, risk reward there. Yeah. And so, so you taxi everywhere. I've had my own motorbike in Bangkok. I fucking love it. I do motorbike taxis a lot, which is a very
It's a lot faster.
It's world class motorbike taxis if you want to get somewhere fast. And then plus you have the BTS SkyTrain. So if you want to get like all the way to the other city, you're in your condo. Okay, you can grab bike, order it. It's there within minutes. You go downstairs, waiting right outside for your condo. You get on the grab bike. You go straight to the nearest BTS station, which is probably minutes. You hop up there. You probably 15, 20 minutes all the way to the other side of the city, and then you get off at the next BTS station of arrival. You walk down to the street. There'll be a line of motorbike taxis. You just hail one, and then you go to your found destination. It's streamlined. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it.
If you want to get somewhere the fastest, that's what's happening.
Yeah, I guess I didn't travel that much around Bangkok because I was just focused on working.
Yeah, if you're around your area, you don't need to use BCS.
Yeah, the bikes. The benefit of that is, depending on the time, Bangkok traffic can be like wild. Right, it's not all day, but like the evening rush hour and I think the morning rush hour, it just looks gridlock when I'm looking from the condo where I'm staying down.
In the daytime, it's no worries, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine during the day. So at night, if I need to get, like if I'm going out, I'll get on the back of a bike, right? There's enough cars that they won't go that fast. But there have been times where, and I've been riding a bike myself in Canggu for 3 years, but I get on the back of the bike in Bangkok and I'm like, whoa, like I've never been on the back of a bike where they can go so fast because the roads are so well done. Right. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
In Canggu, the roads are so like broken that they kind of naturally slow down a bit as well. Or there's like one way or you have to kind of stop. So
new experience being on the back going so fast, like whoa.
Yeah. I think it's also you don't feel like you're in control, right? When I'm riding myself, I can go fast, but I feel like I'm in control. As a passenger, it's a very different experience.
Yeah. And so if you guys don't know, like Grab is basically the Uber. And so you just go in your app, Grab app, motorbike taxi, and it's there like within minutes. It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a good summary, I would say, of Bangkok versus Bali / Canggu. One other thing I love about Bangkok, and historically, I've been a cafe / co-working space guy, and I consider both of those to be Starbucks. And so in Bangkok, there's a Starbucks almost on every block and every BTS station. And so when I'm in Bangkok, I'm a big Starbucks guy.
Yeah.
You just catch me in Starbucks all day.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a few 24-hour ones, and there's a multiple 24-hour kind of like similar to Starbucks that are just 24 hours. And so I've been based mostly in Bangkok for the past 5 years. And that's like my ground, my hub is Starbucks. That's my basic routine. I'll go to Starbucks, I'll get coffee, and then I will like sit there for a few hours until about like 4:30, and then I'll like go to CrossFit, take a motorbike taxi either to Muay Thai or CrossFit around 4:35, and then done with that, come home, eat, and then either, depends where I'm staying, work at the work spot in my condo, or go back to another Starbucks until 10, 11, and then come back home, and then starting calls for USA people, for agency, sales calls, closing. But anyway, that's my note on Starbucks. Like, that's what I think about Bangkok is just like, there's a million Starbucks. It has fucking taken over, and I find the Wi-Fi is obviously, they have AIS super Wi-Fi, which is like the 100 plus meg. Yeah. And then I just find it a good vibe to work. I just get noise canceling headphones, and I'm just in there, and I'm a fucking productive guy in a Starbucks. You ever work in cafes or Starbucks?
I hate working in cafes and stuff like that because I think I guess maybe it's different here, but if I want to go to the toilet or want to just leave stuff around, if I'm in a public space, in Chiang Mai the first time I used to just leave my laptop, go leave the cafe, come back. It's still there. Didn't even think of it. In Bangkok, I don't know. Maybe
you're fine. I do it all the time. So I just when you go to the bathroom, leave your laptop. Let's say the Starbucks is in a mall. Like every mall has like at least one Starbucks, right? It's just like any city in the U.S. or around the world. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. But I can see people. Yeah, just leave your laptop there. It's fine. I do it, all the time. What sucks about Starbucks in Bangkok is they don't have healthy food options like they do in the U.S. That's kind of annoying. And so, I mean, they do have like a yogurt and like a chicken wrap, but they don't have, like in the U.S., they have it's like a healthy fucking restaurant inside of Starbucks.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it varies per region, but
Okay.
but yeah.
'Cause, I just assume you would be getting like snacks, right?
Yeah, I'll get like,
Or
you
like
know,
maybe a
the
sandwich
like,
in there.
yeah, the peanut snacks that's not healthy. Even the yogurt is not healthy. Like all that honey is like fucking sugar, and even like the chicken Caesar wrap, it's just like everything in Starbucks is not geared to be healthy. It's geared to be a business. But anyway, that's a good breakdown of Bali versus Bangkok. So I didn't even know, bros, until yesterday that Jerry was doing closing.
Yeah.
You just told me.
Yeah.
And so tell everyone your experience, because I was like, did you know I'm doing content about this now? Like, that's thing I'm doing. That's like the thing I'm doing now. In terms of content, in terms of how to be a digital nomad. That's the thing I'm talking about. What made you, how did you discover it? What made you get into it? What was the process? How easy was it? What's been your whole journey with it?
So I got in towards the end of last year through a friend that I met in Bali. And I feel like just in general, opportunities in the nomad space come through your network, right? You can find things online as well, but then you're kind of competing with everyone else that's finding that job application or whatever it is online. So networking in general has really helped. Got into it, I was hearing all the figures that people were making, right? Now, with the two jobs that I have, both of them, you sign an NDA, so obviously you can't talk about the details of that. But in general, when it comes to closing, I was hearing people do 10K a month, 20K a month. I just thought it was BS. Right? I just thought it was just nonsense. But now that I'm in there and I've seen people do 30, 40, 50, 60K in a month, then started to just question everything else, right? Because these people that are doing these numbers, you would see them in the street and you wouldn't even think they really know how to use technology, right? That's the thing. It's like the typical image that people have of someone that's making that much money is a certain kind of lifestyle. But what I've learned about closing, I thought, I'll get in, and if I'm familiar with the products, I've done e-com and I've done fitness in terms of like the product I'm selling. And I thought with fitness, I've been involved in fitness, I understand nutrition, it'll be easy to kind of close. But there are people that don't look like they go to the gym that close better than me. There are people that don't look like they've ever been to a gym that close better than me. Because when it comes to closing, I think it comes down to two things. One, really asking the right questions.
Yeah.
So not just having a random conversation, asking very targeted questions until you get a response that either pre-qualifies them or disqualifies them. So like the art of closing is in 30 minutes, let's say, in a conversation, you want to quickly, if you haven't done the work before they got on the call, you want to quickly understand, is this an ideal? Is this my customer avatar? Is this someone that can actually buy? Or can I save 20 minutes here and just send them on the way, right? It's not about trying to sell every single person. It's about making sure every person you're talking to is your ideal customer avatar. And I see people kind of I just got into it, still kind of learning. But what I've learned over the last couple of months is when I first got in, I would just kind of talk to everyone in that 30-minute slot or that 1 hour slot. Just kind of go around in circles.
Yeah. Okay. What question can I ask next?
No. Even if they gave me a script, I kept being told by the sales leads, why did you ask this question? And I didn't have an answer, right? So then you shouldn't be asking that question. There has to be a specific reason. So let me take an example. Let's say the typical example that Jordan Belfort has of sell me this pen. Right, and then people just try and talk about the features and benefits. But the actual answer is you have to figure out if the person's even in the market for pens. And then what do they like about writing? And then you relay everything they've kind of said, you summarize it, get agreement, and then you position that pen to fit the need that they've just kind of told you that they have. In the beginning, I just didn't understand that. So I'll just go around in circles and then get to the end, pitch the price. So I feel like I'm building rapport by talking and talking and talking. Get to the end, pitch the price, and all of a sudden they become a different person. The tonality drops. They start backing out. I have to talk to my spouse. That's a common one.
Yeah, that basically means no.
Yeah, it's and I used to believe them when they say, do I have to make a decision now? Can I think about it? No one thinks about it, right? Even if they think that they truly believe they're going to think about it, they're not.
Yeah.
So Yeah, got into closing through a friend, and it's been amazing. But also, the numbers that can be done, it's insane. If you want to make more money with closing, you either improve your lead flow, so you get more qualified leads in the same amount of time, or you increase the value of the product that you're selling. What I love about closing is it's just maths, right? It's a numbers game. You get a closing rate of 20 to 30%, and then you can calculate how many leads you need to close, and then you figure out how to qualify the leads in your funnel. Most of the time, you're going to be hearing no, right? Because 70 to 80% are going to be saying no. If your closing rate is 20 to 30, you have to get used to hearing no more often. And I think people burn out with closing because they can't handle like constant rejection, and you can't take it to the next call. So someone says, no, like how can you charge that much? And you have to make sure you don't start justifying the price, right? Because their mindset of like, oh, that's too much for them. You pitch the same thing to someone else, like, oh my God, it's so cheap, right?
Yeah.
So you have to like really...
It's all the framing. And
you have to really, at the end of a call, brush it off, whether it was a win or a loss, like just brush it off. Next call, new energy, and then kind of repeat. Like have super focus in that call, and in the moment it's over, regardless how it went, you move on to the next one. You don't kind of carry that on. But it's been amazing. No, the numbers of 20, 30K a month, they're real. They're real, and they're a lot more common than I realized.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, I'm not hitting that now. It's hard to do that in Asia because I have to work the US time zone. So I could do it for like a week, and then I have to take like a couple of days off or something like that because I'm working until 5, 6 a.m. here. So that's why I'm moving to South America to just be in that time zone.
Yeah.
I don't know how difficult it is to try and be a nomad in the US if you're not a US citizen. I just assume it's hard.
Nah, you're fine.
Really?
Yeah, you're fine. UK, you're good. Have you noticed leads in America take their calls in the American morning time or American evening time? I guess you're just doing like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 8 a.m. and US time, right?
So to make more money and get more lead flow, I started doing in Bangkok time 9 p.m. to 5 or 6 a.m.
Okay, yeah, because that way you catch all of 9 to 5 in the US time.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're staying up later than me. So I own my own agency, and I can like very narrow down my calendar openings. So I'm only open for 3 slots a day, which is 8, 9, 10 a.m. Pacific. And so that is from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Bangkok. And that's only from Monday to Thursday. Obviously Friday night I'm not going to be open. And so and it's been, the sales calls I take has been like one a day. So like only a few per week. But in your situation, so you talked about increasing lead flow, and now I understand what that means, just opening more hours.
Yeah.
And this is going to vary by who you're working for, right? Because some companies might have unlimited leads coming in, and obviously they want to give the most to their top closers. Yeah. But let's say you're working for a company where they don't have unlimited leads, it's only maybe a handful per day. What would you tell someone in that situation? Like, go try to find a better offer that's got unlimited leads, that has higher commissions?
No, it depends on the stage that you're at. So if someone was kind of doing it the way I've done it, where I didn't really have much experience, whether I have 2 leads a day or 10, if I can't close, I can't close.
Yeah.
Right? So I think, or another way to put it, if you don't have experience closing, you shouldn't have that entitled attitude of, oh, I just want the besties, I want the top product, because you're just going to fumble it. And the bigger the product is, right, like 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K products, if you can't close, they're not going to give you that much room to grow, right, to fumble a lead that has been qualified. So depending on like where you're working, you could have setters. So that's another team that sets appointments in your calendar, right? So they do the lead gen, and then they will do some pre-qualification to make sure that you're not getting completely random people. So you have setters that will put leads in your calendar, and then as a closer, you're just showing up for the appointments. Now, depending on, this is going to vary company to company in terms of how much qualification is done before you get to the call. So sometimes you might have to do some extra pre-qualifying. So they've been lightly qualified, and then you you look at their contact information,
Their survey, whatever.
and then you see, based on your experience with other leads that fit that profile, you'll kind of know after a while whether it's going to be a waste of time. So you can ask a few more questions to kind of disqualify them and then get them
email?
out through text
Before
or email.
text or email before the call.
Yeah, and the best closers do that. The top closers they do two things. One, they make sure that by the time the person gets on the phone, they're excited about the opportunity and they've already kind of done a preemptive yes for the product, right? The worst thing you can have is you have a product, but they thought they were just going to get some free information, and you kind of bamboozle them halfway through the call with this high ticket offer, and then I've had that experience, because you don't want to scare everyone away. Most of the deals I've closed, in the form they've said, no, I can't buy anything else. Right? I just want information, right?
I just signed up for the free consultation call.
Yeah. So you don't want to be too aggressive and say, hey, by the way, I'm going to pitch you this, but in nicer words, because then you'll scare off people.
Yeah, you just ask easy questions and did you get a chance to check out our program?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Boom, okay.
Like, did you watch the video or whatever it is that you put to kind of warm them up?
Yeah. Did you watch the video about the program, by the way? We can get to that. Okay, cool. But up front, depends if it's framed as a free consultation call, which many are in the game. Yeah. Or discovery call or whatever it's framed as. Ask the right questions to see what's their situation, how much do they know already,
Finances
and then you
well.
do want to help to give value, give them some tips, fucking give them the tips. Oh, in your situation, I would do this, I would do that. You are a little bit of a consultant in many cases.
Absolutely. I've in the beginning, I was just trying to get the sale. Right? I was getting on thinking, okay, how much can I make here? Right? And then you're always going to lose when you play that game. You're always going to lose. Now, instead, I'm thinking, how can I add value? Of course, the goal is to make as many sales as you can, right? You're not just going there to waste your time. But if I can pre-qualify them, let's say they manage to still get on a call with me and it turns out they don't have any money, I'll still give them something that's valuable. Yeah. Whereas before, I would quickly try and wrap up the call. And then I had people that were pissed. I had people that would email in saying, I was supposed to get this and this and this from Jerry, and I got nothing. And I was like, whoa. And at first, it was like, whoa. But then I kind of, had to check my ego and realize, actually, you know what? They did come on expecting value. Yeah. I did give them that. So now all my calls, whether they buy or not, I get texts like, thank you, that I really, really appreciate it. And sometimes when you kind of go in thinking, okay, I'm going to help them, show them the gap between the knowledge I have and where they are, show them where they're trying to get to, then you kind of naturally end up in the close, right? They're like, oh yeah, I want to know more. You present the two options. It's like, well, you could do this, but there's also this as well. I'm happy to kind of go into detail with that. You kind of ask for permission for them to be pitched to, instead of just coming with the pitch. Yeah. And once you ask that permission, like, I want to know more about coaching or whatever, because I'm tired of doing it myself. You kind of first get them to understand that what they've been trying to do all by themselves hasn't got them anywhere. And if they were to continue that for the next 6 or 12 months, they're still going to be nowhere, right? And there's this other option. I could tell you more if you want to. Oh yeah, I want to hear more. Now they've kind of given you permission to kind of go into it. So it's not like bombarding them with, you've done this, but it's like a bait and switch.
Yeah. In our program, did you? Yeah. Oh, with that, we can take care of that. It's like no. Okay. Oh, in your situation, okay. So you don't have time to work out. Okay. Yeah. I'll give you a few pro tips. So do you work from home? You just go into the situation and just you're starting off as a consultation. This is the way it is for many high ticket. This is the way it is for my agency. And so everything you were saying right there, I'm like, I've never really had proper closer training, but it's just what I naturally do because it's the consultation role, closing for my digital marketing agency. I'm just asking them situation, looking at their Amazon store. Well, right here, that's your low hanging fruit. I would do that right away. You need a video right there. You should actually get 5 videos. Okay, you don't have any. You're being a consultation. You're giving them just free game. And then of course, at the end of the call, they know that you are an agency, you provide services. And then, ask a question cool, did you get a chance to, normally they'll actually ask. A lot of times they'll ask about your packages and your program, because they know, like most people, like they know that you're running a business here, and they'll say, and you answer all the questions, and then you get into it, and just figure out which. A good way to close is like the optional close is like which package is right for you. So we have like a growth package, and then we have an A to Z package. So it's like kind of like assuming the close of like, for your situation, I would definitely recommend the A to Z, and then you just start assuming that we're going to move forward and talking about what it's going to be like, and then, answering their questions as it goes.
Yeah. Well, and I think because you've been so consistent, over the last 5, 6, I don't even know how long.
4.5 years with the agency.
And before that, with Amazon. Like, I'm talking about... I think back when I met you in 2017. No, so back when I met you in 2017, you were doing FBA. Yeah. Right? And you were, like, still hands in. Like, I don't think the agency came yet.
Agency came in 2018, yeah.
But because you've been so consistent with that, you naturally are pre-qualifying people. Regardless, you hear someone speaking on stage, you'll know whether they know their stuff. Someone comes to ask you about Amazon, you'll kind of know where they are, right?
Well, here's the thing. I actually did door-to-door sales for 5 years.
Oh, yeah, college. I remember that. Yeah.
So I guess you could say I kind of have sales trading. Yeah. I kind of do it. Okay, yeah.
You've had doors slammed in your face.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I take that back. I did sales for 5 fucking years in college. And so some people will say, and so I didn't just pick this up overnight, these kind of natural things. That said, some people do have natural sales ability. What does that mean? It just means you're a natural good communicator. Some people are more natural communicators than others. Okay. I happen to be one, and a lot of top closers probably have been good communicators ever since, fucking high school and whatever. But you can learn it. Because there is a caveat to this. When I grew up, all the way up through high school, I was a pretty shy introvert. But a couple things broke me out. Door-to-door broke me out of my shell. And then also starting a YouTube channel exploded me out of my shell.
Right. I found travel in general forces you, solo travel, right? Or if you travel with like one person, like I know you, Parker, started traveling. Because I remember seeing a video that you posted on YouTube of, I think, you in the car. This is when you were still doing the door-to-door sales. You had this dream of kind of getting out to Asia. Yeah. It might still be on YouTube channel. Well, it must have been. That's the only way I would have seen it, right?
Oh, yeah. Me driving around. Yep. It's probably me driving around. Yeah. And I used to be still doing door-to-door. I would put my little phone up there and talk about the 4 Hour Work Week audiobook that I just listened to. And that was me looking back in my manifestation. I was just reading the 4 Hour Work Week, and this was after our vacation to Thailand. Somehow found 4 Hour Work Week and Johnny FD's channel and Jabril's channel and all that and shit. And then I was like, oh, digital nomad? Oh, fuck, that's exactly fucking what I wanted. Found the 4 Hour Work Week. It was saying all these things. Of course you should run your business remote. Of course it's possible. Of course you should live your life and travel the world. Like, why would you not? Like, we can now. And it was just like, boom, light bulb on. And then that was just within 2 years we were in Chiang Mai.
Exactly. So that experience is what would open up going from an introvert to like a little bit more extroverted. Traveling. Getting out of that comfort zone, because I haven't worked a sales job before getting into closing, right? So I didn't have an experience, and my first sales calls were horrendous. But I guess traveling made me comfortable talking to new people. It really does. And even if you don't have that, you can still learn closing, I think, pretty quickly, because there are frameworks out there, and then it's about just taking as many calls as you can. Right, so going back to if someone's in a sales opportunity where there's not that many leads, right? Well, then that means that they have other hours in their day that they're not closing, right? So they could pick up another gig, taking a few leads there, a few leads here. You want to just get as much exposure. As a closer, it's your responsibility and I had to learn this the first time. It's really your responsibility to make sure your calendar is filled with good leads. You might have setters that put them in there, but if you kind of sit back and think, they're not giving me any good leads, you're always going to lose against the top closers who are hungry and are making sure that their calendar is filled with great leads If it's a bad lead, cancel them out, get a new one filled in. You have to be proactive. If you want to be making the 20, 30, 40K a month and more, you have to be really, really proactive. And that's what I've seen, which is why I'm like, okay, I have to get out of Asia. I love Asia. I don't want to leave Bangkok. Like I don't want to leave Thailand in general, because you can have a base in Bangkok, then you can come down to Phuket and like have this as well. But Brazil is not a bad alternative.
Yeah.
It's
And
it'll be different.
And you can be all day. Like I totally get it, and that's one of the main like caveats of being like an influencer in the remote sales space. Now I guess, and based in Asia, because you're gonna have to make that sacrifice of working from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. If you have your own agency, you have more control around.
Yeah. But if you're just
right?
getting started, you're going to want to open that up as much as possible. That being said, my good buddy Colton, nomad bro out here, closes for an Australian company. So look for European companies / influencers, and look for Australians, and look for, it's totally more than possible to take calls from folks in Europe and Australia.
Yeah, I know someone else that's closing for an Australian company. The reason why the US base is good is, again, it depends on the company you're with or what options you have. But in the US, they have like Affirm, right, which is a buy now, pay later. So if you're selling a high ticket item,
Affirm, which
Yeah.
is okay.
So
Is that attached to PayPal or is something different?
no. But PayPal also offer
They have a separate
people to split payments.
But that's only for U.S. citizens?
It depends on how the company set it up. Apparently, Affirm does work in Canada and other places, but for whatever reason, that's not always available.
Oh, is Affirm attached to Stripe? Like you can send it?
No, I
Or
think
you can just have it on you can install that on your checkout page. An Affirm
Yeah.
option.
You could set up, so like if you're going for Shopify, you can set up Affirm as an option, as a payment option. You can have PayPal, you have credit card, PayPal, Affirm.
And so you can use that. Do you use that like as a closing tool?
Yeah, because
If price is their issue.
Yeah, like if you're selling like 5, 10, 20K products,
They ask you about payment plan.
They even if they have 20K just sitting there, they may not necessarily want to drop it all at once, right? So they get the option of a payment plan, and you get the money like all at once.
That's
right?
yeah.
So that really makes a difference as well. PayPal also offers the option to split payments. Sometimes split it in 3 or 4 payments, or sometimes they also offer PayPal credit. They give you that option in checkout, and PayPal have their own buy now pay later scheme, where people can take a product that's like thousands of dollars and only have to pay $26 a month, right? Yeah. So, but you as a seller get all the money up front, right? And then the liability of them missing payments is with PayPal or Affirm and stuff like that.
That's so good. Oh,
so if
I
you're
should start using that.
Yeah. So you typically to get accepted by, and then in Europe there's Klarna. Klarna is also another based in Europe. So depending on what market you're selling in, those companies require to see, they do a risk assessment on your business. So usually 12 months of revenue or more, a certain amount of revenue. And then I think depending on what you're selling, they might deem it as high risk, low risk. So you may or may not get accepted. But if you can get accepted, game changing. Closing rates go up, everything just goes up. Because now that whole, I can't afford it. Oh, don't worry, we can do payment pass. Oh, yeah, that'll be great. Boom,
So
and you get the money up
like
front.
that, and then okay. So walk me through how you do that, because you were just talking about the checkout process when you lost internet.
Yeah.
So take me through how, when they say they want to sign up, how you go through the checkout process with them.
So over the two different things, like you can either be seeing their screen or you can be doing it over the phone, right? So depending on how you're closing, again, how the closing works, you might be doing closing over a Zoom call, or you might be doing closing over a phone call, right? And either way, you'll be on the phone when they're going through the checkout process. With Affirm, they have several steps, which makes it
Takes a bit long.
clunky.
Yeah, it takes a bit
And
long.
There's so many, like there's about 3 or 4 pages where things can go wrong.
Right.
Things go wrong. Sometimes a firm has issues with Shopify. Sometimes a firm doesn't approve them because they'll say that they're making this much, and they'll say that
they gotta go
they're
through
really
a qualification.
a firm does like a soft check, so it doesn't impact their credit score. But I've had people that, I think the 3K package is for me, kind of go through, and then a firm says, no, you have to put down 50% of the package, so 1,500, for example, on a 3K product, 1,500 today, and then you can split the rest of the payments. And then they start fumbling. I've had people hang up when they've been rejected, or just not say anything, and then you can't get them back. So, it's not like with Stripe. I find Stripe is just almost seamless, or like Apple Pay. You don't really have to worry about the details that it kind of goes through. With a firm, there are several steps. They have to get a verification code, enter their phone number, get a verification code from a firm. And then a firm sometimes has to prove their identity. So sometimes while you're on the phone with them, they have to upload a picture of their driver license or take a photo of themselves and do verification. So I think that's also why you're there as a closer, is because they wouldn't be able to navigate that themselves. Yeah, right. And their dropout rate at the basket would be high if you weren't there. And that's what you're being paid for. Yeah. Not just handling the objections, but that.
You're there, you're holding their hand to the payment.
Yeah.
To actually, like, a lot of people, they go there with the intent to sign up, but they just need that extra fucking kick to put in their credit card and do it.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting. This is bringing me back to my door-to-door days with the Comcast. We had to do like credit checks on I had to stand there with them and just like shoot the shit about, oh, that's a nice, what kind of tree is that? Like, and you gotta be like having a conversation. Like, You gotta be like, oh, so one thing I do with my Amazon clients is like, even before I jump into the Amazon stuff, be like, cool, before we jump into all the Amazon, all that fun shenanigans, I like to ask one fun question. It's like, what do you like to do on the weekends? What kind of hobbies are you into over there in Denver? Oh, every weekend I'm up boarding or hiking, and then we can talk about it. And then, so like when you're going through that tedious process, you're like, I found, just be like shooting the shit about like random shit, be friendly, have a laugh. It makes it easier.
Yeah, you want to take the tension out of it.
Yeah, take the tension, icebreakers.
Another thing as well that I started doing to avoid refunds or like last minute cancellations or buyer's remorse. With a firm, sometimes they charge interest. Right? These buy now, pay later credit card, depending on their credit score, they might be charged interest. You can, and this will be a mistake, but you can kind of nudge them over the line. Yeah. But then you're going to have a refund, right? They're going to try and cancel it because they weren't fully bought in. So I've had situations where we've got to the fan page, they've gone through the steps, and now we're one click away from me selling a 5K deal, right? And I'm just there, just like, okay, so how do you feel? Before, I would just not say anything, and I thought being quiet was the thing. But now I've seen, if there's interest, really ask them. So I would be like, these are your options. Like, how do they look? Like, reconfirm, and then that's when they will come out like, oh, well, I've got these payments, I'm not sure, that's a lot of interest. And then I have to kind of, when you're closing, you're going from, like you said, being consultant and being a coach, right? So a consultant is when you're, they've come for you for information and you're kind of teaching them. When you're a coach, you're guiding them through more the emotions of it, right? That's the difference between being a consultant. It's like you have an expertise, you're subject matter expert on something. But if they have like emotional doubts and fears and stuff like that, you have to switch to being a coach and you're guiding them through the mindset. So when it comes to interest and they see the amount there, if they're not happy with it, you'll hear from tonality, like, oh, I don't know. Then that's when I have to kind of say, well, these are your options. You can get in with a lower rate, but then if you pay, you can start paying off more in the further months, and you won't have to pay all this interest because you're only being charged interest, that total interest, if you take that long to pay off. So why don't you get in at the lower rate, and then if you can pay off more, you can pay it off faster instead of starting at this high rate. Or if you wanted to pay it off sooner, you could do this with no interest. And I've had people say, oh yeah, I'll take that one, right? It's like it's right in front of them, but they can't see it. So you have to really educate them and then coach them through, that's the top line thing of how much interest, but you can pay it off sooner. You can delay the first payment by 30 days. And then once they said, or once you hear that tonality change, like, oh, almost as if they're sitting up, oh yeah, okay, I like that. That's when I know that they're not going to refund. I've only had one refund. And then when I went back and looked at that call, or two things, refunds are just the more you close, it's just a part of the process, right? Part of the process. In fact, someone said, if you're not getting refunds, you're not closing enough, right? And it's true. I've only started closing more this month, beginning of this month. So then I started to see like a refund. But I went back to the call and I watched it. He wasn't fully bought in with the interest, right? I think I even showed him how to kind of like delay the payment and stuff like that. And he was like, oh no, I don't want to forget to pay. But when I listened to the tonality, he wasn't fully happy with it. So then of course he has buyer remorse.
Yeah, and he does 30-day refund.
If you, well, it depends on like what policy you offer, right? Usually it could be 72 hours, it could be 30 days, etc. I think it also depends on the product. Typically, like if it's e-com, someone can get in, try and like download or like grab as much information, and there's bad actors everywhere.
Yeah. If it's just a video course.
So if it's that, then they're gonna try and like hoard all the information and then try and cancel it, right? You'll get people like that. That's just part of the game. Yeah. When it's something like fitness, if they cancel, they're gonna keep the weight. They keep their money, but they keep the weight as well, right? So it's like it's hard to kind of shortcut that. So I think the product you sell as well, you have to be aware of. Some people don't offer refunds because of that.
Because
right?
it's coaching and like it's not a digital product. It's we're putting in our time.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no And so what you were kind of alluding to is it's better to let them make the choice of give them kind of like the optional close, which option works for you, and then let them make the final choice. Oh yeah, actually just paying the $3,000 now with no interest works best for me.
Yeah. You still have to do like the assumptive, because if you leave it wide open, they will take the cheapest option.
Start rolling with the assumptive, but if there's hesitant, give them the options. And
so the options are all a close, but it's like which ones make sense. Instead of before, I used to make the mistake of like you could sign up or maybe you can't. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think I'll do it myself. It's like, but you've been.
No, it's like which package are we doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Which sign up, which level tier are we doing? So you guys probably have like a $3,000 and a fucking $10,000 or whatever package. And then so that kind of makes sense with the Affirm thing, because I know a lot of companies, they'll offer split payments on their end. Like this program is either $10,000 or it's $3,000 a month for 4 months. But if you can do Affirm, then you might as well do it for that, because you get the $10,000 now.
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
Exactly. It's just for new businesses or different risk categories, Affirm won't approve. So it depends on.
So can you offer as a downsell option if Affirm doesn't approve them for a $10,000 thing, then can you say, all right, we can do split payments on our end?
No,
you guys don't do that.
No. Different companies would. I've seen offers where they can't get access to Affirm, or Affirm's making them wait a bit longer, right? Because they're taking on a lot of risk, right? So they don't roll it out for everyone. So other companies would do split payments, but then they have parameters around the split, right? They will have a minimum amount of, let's say, a few $100s, because they don't want it to go that long. Like they might only do split payments over 6 months, because they don't want it to be. Affirm, you can do 36 months. So someone can be paying over 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what Affirm is. So they're buying a $10,000 product and only paying like $100 a month.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even. So that's basically like had them having a credit card.
Yeah.
If Affirm doesn't get approved, have you asked them? Well, do you have a credit card?
But usually with that credit card, they are going to get that hit, that $10,000 all at once, right? So they might not have the limit.
Limit.
Yeah, they might not have that limit. Stuff like that.
More, yeah.
So they might not have the limit, or even if they do have some extra runway on there, they're scared of like maxing out their credit card, etc.
And so in that case, can you offer as a downsell, okay, we'll split it on our end, $5K up front plus, 3 monthly payments of $2K or whatever, like?
Well, that depends on you.
Yeah.
It depends on the company. Like, if it's your agency, it's your business, then you can do whatever you want. If you're working
your commissions will be typically different. Like obviously you'll get the maximum commission if they pay it full.
Yeah.
That's what kind of just was what I've heard.
Yeah, exactly. So it's also, if you do a split through a company like Affirm, you're still getting the full commission on, let's say, that 10K or that 20K. And then it's between them and Firm.
Yeah, they're paying up over 3 years. Wow.
Yeah. So over 3 years, 12 months, 6 months. So it makes it really, really accessible for way more people.
Yeah.
Right? Because you get people that really, really want to do it, but financially they've just been wrecked, or it's like they can't do it. So if you can get Affirm approved for whatever product you're selling, game changer.
And in the US, the PayPal has pay in 4 now.
Yeah.
PayPal has pay in 4.
So PayPal has saved 5 of my deals. Before, I never thought about it. Now, when I'm going through the checkout process, and again, this comes with experience.
Yeah.
When I'm asking them to add to cart, I'll say, you can pay in full, or you can split it. You can split it with PayPal or Affirm. Have you got a PayPal account? And if they say yes, now I know, okay, we'll try Affirm first because it gives better options, but I know I can immediately fall back on PayPal. Okay. Or sometimes I might just go straight to PayPal.
Yeah.
But PayPal doesn't always offer the split. Right?
They have an algorithm, it depends on who you are.
Yeah, based on the check. But when they log into their PayPal, they will see the option to pay in full or split it over 2 cards. And then they may or may not see the pay in full. That's not always presented. Right? So sometimes you go there, it's like, pay in full or nothing, right? Or sometimes it's pay in full, or sometimes they get the buy now, pay later, depending on how good their credit is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
it's depends who the customer is.
Yeah. So I'll try Affirm first, and then fall back to PayPal, and that saved a few deals. Or I may just try PayPal first and then go to Affirm. But if they don't get approved by PayPal, they're very unlikely to get approved by Affirm.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so is your guys' checkout page on Shopify?
Yeah. Most of the things I've used have been through Shopify. That is I don't know anyone who seriously sells online outside of like Amazon that uses like a WordPress and this. You can, but it's like when it comes to scaling, Shopify was built for e-commerce. You can use WooCommerce on WordPress and stuff like that, but I just haven't seen it from what I've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, most people for checkout, either they just send a direct Stripe invoice,
yeah,
or they'll have a cart thing like Thrive Card or like Same Card or whatever, or they'll just send a direct PayPal invoice. Those are the most common. But overall, the takeaway here is on the closing calls, you get your commission by walking them through until the payment is done, and that's a whole different set of skills than like, okay, you think about it, okay, can I send you an email next week? Okay, no, that's not what this game is. This game is a whole tips and tricks to get people to pay now. That's how you get paid. That's what you're getting hired for. You're getting hired for people, the businesses to close them, to pay now. Not just to convince them that like, oh, I really want it, but like, yeah, next month I'm totally down. Okay, I'll follow up with you then. No. You are hired to get them to pay now on the call, which is a whole different bag of tricks. Like the shit that like I learned in door to door. There's so many of these things creating the urgency. Can't do it now. I got to do it. It's like so many of these tips and tricks you got to come out. And so that's one of the messages that I'm putting out and getting very clear to guys that want to transition to corporate B2B sales, where it's maybe many calls, long sales process, over to closing. I'm like, how much closing have you done?
Yeah.
How much and I say this in the DMs, I go, how many 1-call closes have you done? Well, no, I haven't done that because I do software sales it's completely,
Yeah.
You can pick it up quickly,
Yeah.
but you need the training to get what I'm calling closer certified or closer ready.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because when you're doing B2B, it's usually like a 3 to 6 month sales cycle. You're back from 4, follow up. That's natural.
At least one call, at least 2 calls. I'm typically two calls.
Right.
To close, yeah.
So like, when it comes to like IT software, those are like tend to be 6-figure deals, maybe 7-figure deals, and they just drag out. So if someone comes from that background,
the $1 million deals, those are many calls, yeah.
Yeah, those drag out. So people are used to the follow up. And I need to think about it, I need to talk to that person. Oh yeah, no worries, right? Oh no. When you're closing, yes, you should worry. You should absolutely worry. Like I used to believe, and it sounds so believable in the beginning, but you are losing money every time you let someone get off the phone.
Yeah, that's the skill that you're learning. Like I've been watching, all the videos on YouTube, the Dan Locke, the Hormozy, like the most common ones, like, I got to talk to my spouse. Let me think about it. Let me process this. Okay.
I don't make rash decisions.
Yeah, I don't make decisions on the spot. Like, a pay now. Oh, that's the skill that you're learning. That's this whole game. That's how motherfuckers are making $20K a month, $30K a month, because they're selling these $10K, $20K, $30K programs, and they're getting $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 commissions, and they're taking, let's just say, how many calls a day?
They're doing, the top closers are workaholics. Like it's you don't have to do this, but if you want to make like 30, 40, 50K, these people are doing like 14-hour days, maybe taking 1 or 2 breaks, like intense.
Like 10 calls, like.
Oh no, like 20 calls, 20, 30 calls.
And these are 30-minute blocks.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Maybe with 15-minute space in between.
No.
Or just like straight back to back. Like I
Back
gotta
to
get
back.
to the next call, and that can help you with closing. By the way,
Yeah.
like, I've seen that on some videos. Like act like, hey, by the way, I gotta get in the next call. Like, so hey, like, would you like to move forward or not? Like,
Yeah.
Like I gotta get in the next call.
Well, the thing as well is you're gonna have no shows. So things that just happen in general with closing is you're gonna get no shows. You're gonna get last minute cancellations. Statistically, this is just gonna happen, right? You're gonna get refunds, objection handling and stuff like that. So let's say you have 20 calls booked in for the day, or like 10 calls booked in for the day, and your show-up rate is 50%. So you're only gonna actually speak to 5 people.
50% is about average.
Or it varies. Yeah, your show-up rate, you can dictate that based on how much communication you have with them before the call.
You can improve that by text messaging and stuff.
Yeah, so like actually getting them excited, reconfirming how long before that slot did they book the call. So if they booked it a week ago, anything could have happened. If they booked it last night, more likely to actually show up. It's still fresh in their mind. So you can control your show-up rate. But let's just say, to make the numbers easy, let's say your show-up rate is 50%, right? I've had times where my show-up rate was much lower, like 18% or 20%. Right, so most of the time, my calendar's just red with no show. So, which is going to affect your numbers, right? If your show-up rate's low, then even if you have a great closing rate, someone that has a similar or worse closing rate than you but a higher show-up rate is just going to be on more calls. So statistically, they're going to make more money. So you have to improve your show-up rate and your closing rate. So let's say your show-up rate is 50%. Even if you have 10 calls booked in, you just know only 5 people are going to show up. You don't know which 5, but you're only going to... So your breaks naturally come in as well. That's why it's more beneficial if you really want to make these high numbers to stack your calendar, because you're not going to have 100% show-up rate.
Right. Don't be afraid to stack it back to back 30 minutes. Just... Psh.
So if you put like all these breaks in yourself, like, I don't want to burn out, and then your show-up rate is 50%, you've already booked in 4 calls, you're now only going to speak to 2 people. And if your closing rate is 30%, you're going to have to go through several days, right? Because you would have to have 50% closing rate to close one of those 2 people that actually showed up. And this is where people mess up. And this is where I messed up in the beginning. I didn't book enough calls. I didn't understand my numbers. You have to know your numbers, and you have to really watch your numbers and keep seeing when they go up and down. Figure out why it's going down. So why your show-up rate is going down, why your closing rate is going down, and then improve that. because it has a material impact.
So booking enough calls means literally on your Calendly opening enough slots.
Yeah.
And you have control of that.
Oh yeah, exactly. So open enough slots. Well, if you're in a place where there's not a lot of lead flow, you can't really control that.
Yeah.
But still, even with that, you can book enough calls where you're like, whoa, this is going to be a busy day. But then you have to know what your show up rate is.
Yeah.
So you're going to have these breaks where someone doesn't show up. And even if they say, yeah, I can't wait to speak to you in an hour. I've had people 5 minutes before, I'm sorry, something came up.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. Yeah, same.
It's not a problem if you've got your calendar stacked. It's like, okay, fine. It's a problem if you only had 3 calls booked in.
Yeah.
2 of them no-showed. And then one person got on the phone, didn't have money. So you made no sales that day.
Yeah.
All right, so stack your calendar. Breaks are going to come in anyway. And you don't have to do that all the time. You might do a week where you really grind, and then another week you kind of slow down. That's what I love about closing. It's like you can open and close your calendar based on what your goals are.
You can take a 4-day weekend easy.
Yeah.
And I was just put this on my story yesterday. It's one of my favorite things about being my own boss is, you can take 4-day weekends anytime. And in other forms of freelancing, like managing the clients, you can't necessarily. Because you got to check those ads on Friday, like every Friday. And, unless you have a team, like if you're a solo freelancer. And so with the unique thing about freelance closing is it's no client management. It's just fucking doing the slam dunk and then peace.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
It's so nice. You don't have any clients. Like no client is going to text you, or you're not going to wake up, open your laptop and have an angry email from a client.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe like you said, like some guy was mad, like whatever, but you're not responsible for delivering results like later.
Yeah, even if they contact me after, hey, like I want a refund, blah blah. Okay, here's the support email. Like my when that call ends, my job is done.
Yeah.
Right, I've closed or I haven't, and then anything after that, support, because it's a separate team. Like I'm not customer service.
Yeah, 100%.
And you have to really maintain. It's called like controlling the frame of the call, because sometimes people get on just to complain about something else, right?
Just to rant about
I bought this, and if you don't take control of that call and say, hey, look, there's another team that deals with this.
Yeah, listen, hey.
You need to contact them about that. I can talk about this, but if you don't want to talk about that, then just gonna end the call.
Yeah,
right?
you
say it in a nice way.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to protect your time as a closer, because depending on what the offer is, some they might have a base. I think most don't. Right, like the ones I've done, 100% commission, and usually when it's 100% commission, that's because either the lead flow is good or the products are good. So you don't need a base, right?
People will want to work for you.
If I see that there's a base now from what I've seen, it probably means that they need to give you something to keep you there, right? Because it's not that great. Yeah, you wouldn't give a base if the leads and the products were converting at such a rate that people are making way more than a base. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, I know people that work in London and they work in sales and they get a base, they go to the office and stuff like that, but you're working Monday to Friday. Like, once you pay the base as well, there's more expectation of you. You can't just do these 4-day weekends, right? Because you're being paid a salary. And that's closer to the 9 to 5. That pretty much is a 9 to 5 kind of trap when you do that. When you have no base, it's the closest, I think, you can get within a job to running your own business. Right, because you can open and close your calendar. Like, I opened my calendar the first week of this month. I've closed it for the last 3. When I was in Samui the other day, I opened it, closed the deal, and then closed my calendar again.
That is so, guys, I want to get this. That is life. Just that right there is life changing, because 99.99% of people cannot close off a week. And just I've been thinking about this more, and even I can't close off a week because I have team calls to run. I have, I did take off 2 weeks earlier this year, and last year I took off 2 weeks, but the first 3 years of my agency, I realized looking back, no weeks off. No weeks off. But that's the beauty about this form of freelancing is you could work 1 week and then 3 weeks vacation, and then 1 week and then 3 weeks vacation, or one and alter. Hey, do you want to go do a 2-week fucking retreat or whatever, travel the world for 2 weeks? Boom, you can grind for 2 weeks and then go vacation for 2 weeks. What type of thing gets you that? it's a very special, bro. I've been in this game for years and years and years, and that is very rare. Most people are either remote employee or they're a freelancer, they're managing clients, and you can't tell your clients I'm going on 2-week vacation. Or they're, running their own agency where you're the boss. I still have to manage my team. Okay, I can take a week off, 2 weeks off. I can now actually add to that place, but not to there would still probably be some balls.
There's responsibility that you still have to think about, even when you're off, right?
Yeah, it's in my mind like, shit, like, are they gonna
And I feel like, for me, no one that I close will ever see me on social media. So I'm never worried about what I'm doing, if I'm out partying and stuff like that. But I feel like if you're running an agency or you're doing something where your clients find your social media, unless it's part of your brand, right? Unless people expect you to be doing that travel lifestyle, even if you've been grinding the Monday to Friday and like really doing the work, and there's always going to be a delay on something, if they see you out enjoying yourself, they might start to feel like, oh, well, you're not taking this that seriously. And it depends on the kind of clients you've got and stuff like that. Whereas with, like before this, I had a remote job and I've still got that job. So that's why I've been balancing the two. But closing is going to get me out of the first one.
I see,
completely, right? But so that was what I was using as my base. So before, it was very restrictive, right? Because it's a remote job, which is great. You can travel. Before, I used to kind of have the mindset of like, I'm never working for anyone again. I remember one time I deleted my CV. I was like, I'm never... Now what I tell people now is, don't be entitled like the way I was, right? Like I used to be a software developer, and the amount that you make as a software developer in London ranges, when you go contracting, from £300 to £500 a day. Right, so that's like between 7 to 10k a month, or like 5 to 10k a month. So I used to think, if I can't match that, then I have to do my own business, right? Because I don't want to downgrade. I don't want to like go backwards or get a job that doesn't pay as much. Now what I've learned is, if you want to be remote, you have to make your options as wide as possible if you have nothing right now. And then when you've got, whether it's a remote job or you're working for a friend or whatever it is, use that as a stepping stone until you get the next thing. It's not a place that you're going to settle, right? It's like a stepping stone. Yeah. So use that remote job. So I think like 2 months after we last spoke and last did that podcast, back then I was talking about this agency I was going to start. I was going to do
SMS
social media, all that kind of stuff. Really excited about it. And then I got a job like a few weeks after that. And then I signed a client for Amazon marketing like a week after that. So then I had a job and a client, and I didn't have time to actually grow the agency or the brand or do any of that stuff. Did that for a year. Client went away, still had the job. And then I thought, wow, this job has been consistent. I should have done this 2 years ago. Like I should have got a job sooner until I found closing. Right, so it's just, which is again, it's a job, but you're freelance. When I close my calendar, I'm not worried about, like you said, someone sending an angry email. As long as I've handled all my leads properly. So the worst thing you could do, and I see some people do it, is they have their calendar stacked, and then for whatever reason they wake up on a day and they're like, oh, I can't take these calls, and they try and give calls away. So it messes up. People can get lost in the handoff. So let's say we were working on the same team. I had 10 calls, and if for whatever reason I can't take them, I try and give them to you. So you have to now reschedule every single person for a time that they didn't select and try and give them another option. So it just gets messy. So as long as if you're closing, as long as you close your calendar off so no one's booked in with you, you don't have to reschedule anyone. You're not going to come back to any angry emails. The only emails I get now are, oh, I'm trying to book another time, but your calendar's closed. Right?
I was going to ask you a follow-up question about this. So let's say you have 30-minute blocks scheduled back-to-back. Great conversation. They're almost paying, and then 30 minutes is up, and you got to go to the next call. What do you do?
I text the next call, say I'm running late.
Text the next call, you handle this call now.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
The saying that I had back in IT, but it's general, is a bird in hand is better than two in the bush. So if you have someone,
get it done now. Yeah.
if you have someone on the call that is big, you've mentally closed them on doing it. Now you're just doing the transaction. There's no point rushing to the next call. That might be a no-show.
Yeah.
They might not even show
What I've
up.
done sometimes is on Google Meets, you can open up two at the next time. Two calls at the same time. That's why I do Meets and not Zoom.
Yeah.
Now I switch. I like it a lot better. Just like a little tidbit, and then you can see if they're there. And then when they pop on, I'll say, "Hey, what's up, Mike? Hey, I'm just wrapping up this other call. Like, I'll be here. Like, hang tight."
Okay, yeah, nice.
But normally it's a client that's I already know. They already know me. But
Yeah,
you can do that with Google Meets. You can have a bunch of tabs with different calls going.
Really? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Zoom. Yeah, Zoom. You can't do that. You're in that room.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely. I've become faster at getting to the pitch, because that's what it's about. You have 30 minutes.
Right.
You want to do discovery. You want to discovery as long as you need to, but you want to ask targeted questions. You don't want to waste time talking about their kids and this and that.
Yeah, you get
if
your
it's
pace
not
down.
relevant, right? If you can get discovery done in the first 10 minutes, to the point or faster, like I've seen people do it in 6 minutes, because they've asked targeted questions that then qualify or disqualify the person. If this disqualified them, then they're going to wrap up that call in the next 5 minutes and save 20 minutes. So then you have 20 minutes to do admin, to check if the next person's going to show up, check the following calls and stuff like that. Because if you're doing it back to back, you need to use every single minute to do these little tasks in between.
Yeah, I 1,000% know where you're
can.
at. And I was going to ask you that too. If someone cancels and you have that 30 minutes blocked open, like what are you doing?
I'm updating. So let's say I closed someone, but then the next person cancels. I'm then going into the system and I'm closing out that lead so that I get paid. I'm checking the leads after that cancellation to see if they're going to cancel or not. Depending on how close it is to the call, if they cancel like an hour before, I might have time to open up that slot again for it to be filled by a new person.
Yeah.
But if it's like 5 minutes before,
Just delete that calendar event and then you're open.
But if it's 5 minutes before, it's unlikely to book someone else in. And if it does, usually I've seen that it's too fresh that they haven't had time to see anything.
Yeah.
So they haven't watched any video. They haven't had enough time to be warmed up. So those are usually bad leads as well. Like they've just booked it. So then the objection is, oh, I haven't even had a chance to look at XYZ because I've just done it. So I don't take calls from people that have just booked it now.
Yeah, so
Or just purchased.
I'm curious about this. Like, is it sometimes when like they're ready to go, but they schedule a call two and you handle it on call two? Is that sometimes, or is that pretty much never?
Oh, like a follow up.
Like let's say the Affirm is not working, but like I want to do this, like, but there's just like some sort of block, and we got to reschedule to.
No, that happens. Affirm has it's great, but yeah, there's been several over 10 deals that I'm watching a 3K or 5K or 10K just go down the toilet because there's issues. I'm like, oh, we'll do a follow up, and then you try and like contact them again.
Doing the follow up, yeah.
I've only had one person actually show up for the follow up.
Okay.
And close.
But you schedule the follow up, so if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if they ask for a follow up, like. So you will take that, you will agree to follow-ups rather than like, hey, you know what, to be honest, we don't really take follow-ups, that kind of approach.
Yeah. It's only say that when they're not bought in. So if they're at a firm, they've already been convinced, right? They're on board, and now it's just a technicality of doing it. And then what happens is if they don't close then, they may just disappear because they get off the call. When you're on a sales call, emotions are kind of ranging, right? And it's at its highest point when they're sold in, you've dug into their pain, you've handled their objections, you've circled back to what you found out in discovery to kind of really remind them of the gap between them and you. Like they've come to you for a solution, why they need to do it, why now is the right time, why I can't wait. You've gone through all of that. So their emotions, they're ready. Like, yes, I have to do it. That's what you're getting paid for as a closer, right? It's,
you gotta get them while they're excited.
Yeah,
because excitement is part of everything.
The moment,
dopamine.
the call ends, they go back to their life, and then their doubts come in. Maybe they go and tell someone like, hey, Riley, like, I'm thinking about signing up for this thing. It's like 5K, and then you're like, what, 5K? Why would you?
Yeah.
Right? Or if they're married or they're in a relationship, they'll tell their partner, oh yeah, I'm signing up for this thing. I've had this a few times. I'm signing up for this thing. Like when they couldn't pay on the call, you know, I think I have to go like ask my partner to kind of transfer some money, blah blah, and they don't have the information or the skill to tell their partner the way I explained it to them.
Way,
All they're gonna hear is, how much is it? They're gonna miss everything else. How much is it? 10K. Forget it. Right? And then it just gets shut down. So I'll then, with the follow-ups, when I'm texting them to confirm that they're gonna show up to the next call, oh, you know what? Had some time to think about it, and we kind of decided, blah blah blah.
Yeah. So
I had some time, had a conversation, or I text them, oh, how did the conversation with your partner go? Oh, you know, and then all these reasons that they didn't say on the call come out of the woodwork. Oh, I'm trying to buy a house, trying to do this, but I'm like, so
you'll convince yourself either way.
If you don't close them on the call, it's highly unlikely. You can absolutely get them in the follow-up. That is true.
But only for people that you totally feel. Gotta feel the person out. Only if you can totally feel that they're genuinely in. They just they have to run right now, or if there's some sort of block. Then that's the job that we're in. We're listeners. We're communicators. We do what makes sense. So yeah.
That's another thing actually. That point, I stopped taking calls when someone's in a car driving. I had one guy. He was pissed. He was like, hey, yeah, like, I was like, oh, wait, no, sorry. I should have said, I can't do these calls. But, you know, it'll just be quick. I just want to ask you a question. Like, no. Can't do it. If you want to reschedule, we can reschedule. Oh, okay, fine, whatever. So now I can cancel the call. Because if I take that call, I know he's not going to close. He's driving. Right? He can't do any information. So if I go through that whole call, it's not going to close. It's going to affect my numbers. So it's going to affect the number of leads the quality of leads I get. So you really have to, with every call, be thinking about your numbers. If it's highly unlikely that is going to close, and you've got a legitimate reason to not take the call, you should proactively kind of shut it down.
That's why it says it on the calendar confirmation screen. It says, hey, we have just a couple things for you to prepare. You need to be in a quiet place with good internet. And that's, so, you know, we've all seen these on when you book discovery calls with companies. And also there's this video to watch, and so like a common text follow-up before the call would be like, hey, did you get a chance to watch the place the YouTube video in that text message, in that WhatsApp, so they can watch it. Plus there's many tips and tricks to via text messaging before the call.
And it makes a big difference.
But yeah, it's a requirement, because it probably says it on your guys' confirmation page that you must be in a quiet place, and he wasn't, so you're legit to say that. And they don't read that stuff. They get like automated emails, text messages, and at some point when they get so much information, they just gloss over it. Or if they think it's just a bot, right, you can tell when something's an automated message. They just don't read it, right? So you have to now personalize messages, use some emojis, do something that's specific to them so that they actually respond. So one thing I've started doing is I'll say, hey, XYZ, excited to speak to you at the time. Have you used Zoom before? Right? It's such a simple question that they can answer. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. If they don't respond, now I know they're likely to be a no-show. Right? Because they're just not responding to a very simple message. It's not a wall of text. It's like, hey, I'm excited to speak to you. Have you used Zoom before? Yeah.
When they say yes, they all show up.
Yeah. I would put something custom, like in there, like, hey, sorry to speak to you. I saw that you're in this situation. Like, I saw that you played rugby. That's cool. Me too. Awesome. By the way, just making sure, do you have the link for the call in 30 minutes?
Yeah.
That's like one.
Yeah.
And they'll say, I had the link, or I don't have the link.
It's
another way of asking a yes or no, an easy question.
Well, with the Zoom one, I need to get back, and this is another reason why I need to leave Asia. The time like now, everyone's sleeping in the US, right? So the time that I could go back and forth before the call is limited, because people were complaining about getting texts at midnight or 1 a.m. Right? Put your phone on silent. They don't do it. So it was kind of put in place where it's like no text messages can go through out at a certain time, and it just happens to be daytime in Asia, right? So that's another reason why
That's very true.
it's
Yeah.
difficult in this particular role.
I
doing
realized
Asia.
I need to schedule my emails to send at 9 a.m. instead of sending them now.
Yeah,
When I'm doing all my follow-up emails.
yeah, because
I wish you could do that in WhatsApp. I bet there's probably an app for that, but yeah, schedule them to arrive at 8 a.m. whatever.
So yeah, depending on the tool, you can schedule, and I need to improve that. Like in terms of how I'm going to improve my numbers.
Do you use WhatsApp for text or SMS via like Close.io or some CRM?
I've used it's through a CRM. I've used Close before. I've used GHL. I've used Schedule once. I've used a few different ones.
Schedule once. Yeah. Which one do you prefer? In like,
I think Close was slick, but I think that the platform, your experience with it depends on the tier that your company has kind of got. So if you have a big sales team, the amount of load on that server based on whatever your tier is will impact how fast or how slow it loads. So I've been in small teams and I've been in big teams, and because I can't see the back end, I don't know exactly what's happening. But in a big team, I'm trying to load up a lead's information and it will crash or something else, right? So sometimes we have to move to a different platform.
okay, so as long as
yeah.
you're not for like a fucking super big Close might crash. Okay, cool.
Close didn't crash. It was GHL, but a lot of people like GHL, and GHL.
I never heard of GHL.
Is go high level.
Oh, go high level.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
someone was just asking that about in Discord.
It integrates like your calendar, text, email, all into one platform. So I can understand why people like it instead of like using 5 different tools. But if you're in a team where there's a lot of people, it can have loading issues.
Yeah, it seems like it might. Yeah.
So,
where Close is more robust to enterprise ready.
Yeah.
What about Schedule once? I've
haven't used that.
messed around with it.
I haven't used that too much. I've only like logged in, so I'm going to start using that soon.
For your calendar booking instead of Calendly, or what?
Don't use Calendly at all.
Specifically, what?
So with calendar bookings, I've used Calendly before, and then that was linked with Google Calendar. So I was just seeing. In terms of in the pipeline, I wasn't in the I didn't really use Calendly that much. Leads would book the appointment through Calendly, but I would see it pop up in my Google Calendar.
Okay, yeah, got it.
With GHL,
because
everything's in GHL.
Yeah, and they book through the company's Calendly, which rotates through their sales team.
Yeah.
Right, like in a round robin.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, do it like that, and you get your individual calendar link as well.
For your schedules and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So I think if you can get like GHL on a fast tier or whatever, depending on the team you're on, it makes sense. Everything's in one place.
Because you have the funnels there too.
Yeah.
That was the reason I was going to switch over from Calendly over, Thrivecart. Do they have the checkout on Go High Level as well? Like,
what do you mean, like the metrics?
Because it's basically a ClickFunnels competitor as well. So you can have like the webinar there as well set up, funnel pages, landing pages.
Maybe it's not being used there because Shopify is being used.
Okay.
But I guess
in terms of a CRM
I guess if you wanted to, like,
and you can schedule auto SMSs and stuff like that. Yeah. And you guys use that?
Yeah. And you can see the funnel metrics as well.
That makes sense because I'm doing one. I'm not taking high level of calls, but I'm doing one-off personalized WhatsApp messages.
Right.
But if you're doing volume, then do you have like a customized SMS where there's like custom fields like, hey, it puts your name and then it puts, or are you writing those out?
Close does that.
Close does that.
Yeah, Close, you like have at username and then it will just autofill. Maybe GHL does. To be honest, I haven't put the time in to understand it.
That probably makes it more effective. I just write a quick little custom message like you just said.
You can do templates on both of them. I think in general, like CRMs, you can do templates and you can do this kind of stuff. I need to dive into it. And I will when I move to South America. But for now, it was more. I spend the whole day kind of doing whatever I am doing in Asia, and then at 9 p.m. I'm getting ready. So I'm jumping on sales meetings at like midnight or 1 a.m. It's like, good morning, guys, and I'm like,
Yeah.
So that is draining. If you're selling to the US, you have a US-based team. Like you said, you can sell for Australian companies as well. When I've tried to sell to the Australian market, it was just a very different type of prospect. And they would have to pay in full as well. So all I was hearing was, oh, no, that's too much.
Yeah.
So I kind of just got
if you're in Asia, you could close for UK market.
That time zone. It's just the US is such a bigger market. So you just have
sometimes size,
so you're gonna have that lead flow.
It's the most common situation you're gonna be in. So, that's it. And that's on the flip side. So in my life, my daytimes are completely free to fuck around, sauna as long as I want, do YouTube videos. And so I happen to actually be a night owl my whole life in college. My power hour to study for my exams and do all the shit was like fucking 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. until the library closed. And so I've always, ever since a kid, when I look back, been a night owl. And they've actually found like genetic links and shit. I'm a total night owl, on fire during night time. So there's pros and cons.
That's why when I texted you yesterday, you were like, yeah, I'm going to do work tonight.
Last night, normally my Friday is booked out, but I had next weekend, I have a 4-day weekend, birthday party, boat parties, and all that shit coming up. Fucking camera just died, but we'll keep going. We'll wrap it up. You got to get to the airport anyway.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do audio only for the last segment. And so next weekend, I have 4-day weekend coming up. And so this weekend, like if I have no events like parties scheduled, I'll work because I love what I do. Like I'm building what I do. I love to build my agency. I'm building a new course about fucking closing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's what I love doing. I love building and like building my own shit.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, it makes sense. To be honest, that is the thing I do like about Asia is if you're ahead of your clients or your customers, you can spend time in the sun, relax during the day and not feel like you're working all the time, and then work at night when people are going to be indoors anyway, right?
Yeah, it's different. It's pros and cons. It's love and hate. It's light and dark. If we're going to use that analogy, because the having your daytime free is very unique. It's very unique, and it's a very unique setup. I have no priorities or no schedule, and sometimes I do have scheduled calls during the day. For example, with my Asia team, my video editors, some clients might be in Europe, calls with other digital nomads that we're partnering with. I'll have scheduled calls like, we scheduled a 1 p.m. You're going to come over, we do this.
Yeah.
And so I might have like 1 or 2 scheduled things Monday, like during the daytime. But then like I can work out whenever I want. I can work out twice. I can go fuck around. But in exchange for that, if you're cool with it, you can be power hour with my fucking headset on from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Yeah. And then
focus
then you wind down, which is a negative to wind down, because after that call, your brain is wired. It takes me an hour or two just to wind down. If I finish a call, my last call is at 1:30, I close my laptop at 2, I'm gonna maybe get in my bed covers at 3 and then asleep at like 3:30.
Right.
So everyone has their own thing of how fast they can fall asleep and how fast they can wind down, which is a whole nother fucking topic. But all I know is I normally sleep for 8 or 9 hours. Right. And I get my sleep, and so whether that's starting my day at 10, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, it doesn't matter to me, because my day is totally free. So
yeah, exactly. I tried doing calls morning and evening to try and keep it within my daytime, and that was a nightmare. Mm-hmm. So I tried waking up at 4 a.m. to take evening calls in the US.
Yeah.
And I remember you asked about leads morning, evening.
Yeah.
Depending on where, the offer that you're on, you can have a lead flow throughout 24 hours. So if you open up your calendar the whole day, you'll be fully booked out. I found that there were more no-shows and cancellations in the evening because people go through their day, they've had a bad day at work or blah, 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 blah. So they're more likely to cancel. In the morning, you wake up, the calls in an hour.
Thing in the morning.
Yeah. So I find I prefer morning to early afternoon.
Yeah.
But
I found the same thing. Most people book the call at 9, 10, 11, or 12.
Yeah.
But I've always wondered about that because don't people have like jobs? But I guess a lot more and more people work from home and they can take a call.
Yeah, I've had a lot of calls where people are at work and they're taking like a quick. And again, in the morning you can kind of like 9 a.m. maybe people can't because they're just walking in if they're working in office. But 10, 11, they kind of done their morning meeting and it's kind of like that slow time before lunch. People seem to be able to sneak away from work. I don't like it when they're working in office because at any moment that could be the objection. Oh, I have to go, right? Oh, I'm out. And it's like it's hard to kind of like combat that. But evening calls, last minute cancellations. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm still at work. Blah blah. Terrible. So I just stopped doing it, and my quality of life improved because now, if I'm up until, I was stopping at 2, but when I stopped doing the morning calls. If I'm up until 5, I can just sleep without worrying, I have to be here at this time, etc. So that has been great. Yeah. And then I wake up, I'll go to the pool, I'll be in the sun, I'll go to the gym. I've woken up at midday, sometimes 2 p.m. because I know I need to get the sleep in because I'm going to start at 9 or 8 p.m.
Yeah. So I it's pros and cons to that too because like one... It's a con because like, hey, I could sleep in as long as I want. Let's just fucking do that, you know. But when you have a call at 9 a.m., you're getting after it, and maybe you work more hours. So everything is pros and cons. And so you're going to be going over to U.S. time, and you're going to be waking up and be taking calls at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m. But you can take more calls. Yeah, and that's exactly the normal 9 to 5 schedule. Yeah, if you want to.
I'll be doing when I get there.
But you can enjoy sunset. I can enjoy sunset too. Yeah. And you can be done by 5, 6.
Yeah. See, here I can enjoy sunset. I had to make a choice between sunset and sunrise. I was like, I never really want to wake up. Sunrise is kind of disappointing anyway. So that's why I started taking calls until 5 a.m., 4 a.m. Yeah. When I move over to South America, I'll be working a normal day. And it just also means there's, a definitive... one, I'm going back to my circadian rhythm, which is so important for health as well. Right. I notice when I sleep at 2 and when I sleep at 5, very different impacts. 2, I don't think it's too late to get to end the course. I was just losing out on all those deals by stopping that early. Yeah. When I go over to South America, I'm going to be doing... like I do now, 10 to 12-hour days, just for the closing. So right now I'm doing that across 2 jobs. Yeah. Eventually I'll just be doing closing, and I'll be doing 10, 12-hour days because in a month I can pay off 6. Yeah. Right. So every month it's just to me it's about buying time. Yeah. Right? When you get to the 20, 30, 40K. Yeah. I checked I don't know if it's true, but it said that the average US salary is 50K a year. Yeah. Right? And I've seen people do that in a month. So it's like, it pays off to really grind for 1 or 2 quarters.
I was going to say, like, what's your forecast game plan? Like, grind these 10-hour days for a year? Do you have a number in your head? Like, hey, I want to have 100K, 200K fucking in the bank, and then I want to go do this? Or you're just right now, let's just stack cash?
That's a very good question. Yeah. Something I was thinking about.
Like, what's the vision, I guess?
Yeah. So until now, everything, like people like you, Chris Freelancer, have been consistent over 5+ years, right? I haven't. I've jumped from one thing to another. Right. So when I got into closing, I decided I'm going to do this for the next 5 to 10 years, right? Maybe not in the same offer, unlikely on the same offer. You might move around. Right. But I'm going to stick with closing for the next 5 to 10 years.
You'll be rich as fuck.
Right. Okay. Because it's like, you find something that works, why ship? And
it's a quote unquote job, but you know how many people make 200K a year? I was talking with Ryan, like in my agency. We pay him 100K a year. He's our main guy. And we're talking about how can we get us both to 20K a month? And then we were looking at, he was like, yeah, do you know how many people make 200K a year? Like only the highest executives.
I think if you make 400K a year, you're in the top 1% in the US.
No. Top 1% is like, is less than that. 400K is top. 400K is top 1% of 1% of 1% of 1%.
Yeah.
Trust me, you're a millionaire. You're technically a millionaire. You're 400K a year. You are a fraction of 1%.
Right. So 200K.
Even 200K is fraction of 1%.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It is very rare to make 200K.
Exactly. Well,
like doctors make 200K. Dentists make 200K.
Yeah, it's very rare, like to hit those numbers. So now that I found something that I can hit those numbers in, where I just have to focus on one skill set. Because when you run a business, there's 5 different hats you're always having to wear. And so my game plan is stick with closing for the next 5 to 10 years, and just be investing that money.
So,
because I want to shift
just
to
invest
passive.
in passive, yeah. Not, I was gonna ask like build a business, but like I feel you're like, okay, client business, like, no thanks.
Yeah.
But like me, I'm actually shifting to passive as well. Like I've been doing 5 years in client, and now I want to do just online courses, just courses, just digital products. And so I feel you with that. Just invest the money exactly, and then you'll be set in 5-10 years, bro.
Yeah, I'm still. I think all of us that travel, I'm creative. I'm always getting these ideas, and that's been my downfall. That shiny object syndrome. So this time I'm like, no, I don't want to jump for something. Let me mentally commit. By the next 5 years, I'll be in closing. Not that I would have to be closing.
Mentally commit, that's
but
good.
Mentally commit. This is so that allows me to not be too worried about the numbers in the first few months. I want to develop the skill set, and then I'll be one of the top closers, and consistently making that 200K a year, that 300K a year, based on what I've seen. It's one thing hearing about it. It's another thing seeing it and being in a team, seeing it, and just being so close to that. So yeah,
there will always be these remote closing opportunities, and even more as more companies go remote, and then it's just going to be more and more need. And AI is not going to take these closing calls ever.
Yeah. They could do a lot of voice. AI is gonna. I think.
Well, yeah.
I think AI is gonna impact.
After it passed the Turing test, and then it literally is a human on the other side. That's actually coming sooner than we think. But yeah.
Yeah.
Literally a human on the other side.
Well, what they've done with like voice AI and like have you heard like the fake Drake and Weekend track, so stuff like that. But I think it will be more assisted. I think that's the first step. In terms of like closing or stuff like that, there's software now like I think Otter AI that you can have installed where it can analyze your call and figure out if you were talking too much.
Yeah, GPT can do that. You just paste in the transcript. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
Zoom. Yeah, transcribe your shit.
Oh yeah, that's another way.
Just transcribe your call through Zoom, this plugin app.
Yeah.
And just paste that into GPT-4. You can do unlimited text.
Yeah.
And you just ask it questions about it, like, hey, who was talking the most? Like any tips on my closing, and GPT-4 will tell you.
Oh wow.
Crazy.
Okay, yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, I summarize my YouTube videos and then paste this transcript. So I'm gonna be pasting the transcript of our podcast.
Yeah.
Paste that into GPT-4.
Yeah.
And then turn this into 10 tweets. Turn this into top 10 takeaways. Turn this into 5 Instagram posts.
Wow.
And it'll be done in 5 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like tell me and then you can take those summarized points and put that into a AI slides maker. And you will paste it in, and it will make an infographic of Jerry's 5 to 10 year game plan, and you can post that as it.
Damn, I keep saying I need to play around with AI, and I just never do. But yeah, I'll look out for that. That's impressive.
It'll make a infographic of top 10 takeaways from Riley and Jerry's podcast, Conversations with the Closer.
Damn. But yeah, closing's fun. If you enjoy problem solving, that's essentially what it is. Someone's come to you, they've got a problem, and you've got a solution, and you now need to kind of help them see the right solution for their problem. And if you've qualified them, then you always have the solution. If you qualified them before the call, right? So not everyone that you get on the phone with is the right fit. and then that's your fault.
Yeah.
Right. If I get on the phone with someone and they just are not the right fit, that's my fault for not pre-qualifying them.
But so you can cancel the free consultation call, like.
I'll try and send it by email. I'll send it by email. I'll give them tips. I'll look at their form and I'll try and give them tips on ways to connect.
What will you say? Like, we can't take the call, but here are the tips via email?
Oh, no. So I don't aggressively cancel calls, right?
Oh.
I've seen other people do it. Like it's a mixed bag, because I've had people that haven't responded to any calls, haven't responded to any messages, and then they'll get on the phone and then it'll turn into a 5K deal. So if I'd followed that kind of process of cancelling them out, I would have lost that.
Just qualify early on the call.
Yeah. I'm trying to qualify them early. But if they missed the call, right, and now we're in communication about rescheduling, that's when I start asking them questions to not book them again.
Yeah. Makes sense.
It's like, well, you missed it. You've given me an option to now
got it. Yeah.
Maybe not take a second call, right? Yeah. So, I need to work out how I can softly pre-qualify without them feeling like they've just been
like, I didn't get my free consultation. Yeah. And that's why, like, I've experimented with many different ways of framing that call, and I don't call it a consultation call now. I call it a discovery call.
Yeah.
Because a discovery call is more of alluding to, we're discovering if it's the right fit.
Yeah.
And so I canceled the free strategy call framing.
Yeah.
Even though when we get there, I'm dropping tips like a motherfucker, of course, if it's going to be a good client, because that's how you impress them initially. That's how you give value. And then that's how you let them know very easily that, oh, this motherfucker knows his shit. Well, in my case, they already know, because they watched my 15-minute VSL where I'm fucking giving them all the fucking Amazon game, value-packed 15 minutes right before the call. This is our exact 5-step launch and ranking strategy. Yeah. They watch that. It's got slides. It's got case studies. It's got, and in that video, it plays video testimonials at the end of it.
Oh, okay.
So it's a VSL. It's a 15-minute compressed webinar.
Yeah.
That they watched right before the calls. And
so you've warmed up the leads.
Just a tidbit.
Yeah.
It's fire, bros.
Yeah.
It's inside of my Upwork course. I'm making an Upwork course as well.
Right.
It's launched. I'm going to be adding more to it. But that is a fire. Look at my Upwork profile. 15-minute video. I got it from another agency that I saw on their website. It's fire. It's short, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And the only qualifications they need to do before the call, make sure you watch this video. That's the number one. And you get a chance to watch the video. Everyone watches it. It comes via email reminder. I send it via text. After they watch that, it's like a wow video. Like, I get it. I understand your strategy. So they don't need to ask me about the strategy. How does this work? How do you work? What are testimonials? It's all jam-packed in there. It's got my top 3 video testimonials. Hey, testimonial. Hey, quick thing for Ryan and Riley. I just want to say these guys have been fucking amazing. 3 people saying that back to back.
Yeah.
They've heard that on the call if they watch the whole video.
Yeah.
The testimonials are actually in the middle of the video. Anyway, there's many, many pre-qualifying things, but as a business owner, I'm thinking about, but as a closer, that's already done for you. Like
kind of.
Depends who you're working for.
It's no. So there are videos and stuff like that, but they don't necessarily watch them. So as a closer, you still have to check that they've done those steps.
Yeah.
Because they can just. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, I thought this was a phone call." It's like, no, it's a Zoom call. Like, and then you kind of have to deal with that. And again, all my fault. Right? If any confusion they have about the nature of the call, what we're kind of doing, any confusion is my fault. Right, that's my job. Right, is to make sure they understand why they're jumping on the call. Yes, you're gonna get this free strategies and tips and stuff like that, but also we're gonna figure out if you're on the right plan, right? If what you're doing is actually gonna work. If they don't know that before they get on the call, that's my fault, because I should have done that ahead of time, and that will dictate how long it takes to get to the pitch, because they have to go through this whole kind of, oh, you didn't watch the video? Oh god, okay. So you haven't been
now you
warmed
gotta
up.
explain it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the whole like power and impact of the video, which has the testimonials, digging into the pain, hyping them up. It's over 15 minutes, etc.
Yeah.
So
I've seen agencies, they send a link to the video.
Yeah.
That's the gold. It's basically pre-sells them. It's a 15-minute webinar, whatever. That's one method that I found is very effective. I copied it from another agency.
Yeah.
The format of the personalized WhatsApp text from the sales rep. He sent me a personalized WhatsApp text. Hey, did you get a chance to watch the video? YouTube link, boom, right there. I can watch it right there on my phone. And he makes it, hey, it's very important that you watch this video before the call.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
What I'm going to start doing is looking at their profile, kind of figuring out what bucket they fall into, find a testimonial of someone that matches them, the amount of, let's say for fitness, the amount of weight they're trying to lose, their age, their gender, etc. And find a testimonial that is as close to that as possible and send them that before the call. So now you're seeing someone you can relate to before, right?
And yeah, exactly.
To do all of that, I could or schedule it if I'm in Asia, but it's going to be so much easier when I'm just there,
right,
in the same time zone. Yeah.
You could even, and I'm close to getting that point where you get a lead gen assistant. And I can have my VAs have that on autopilot doing that.
Yeah, exactly. When you're scaling, if you're running your own business, or even if you're a closer and the company you're closing for, if they scale to the point of having a separate team again that pre-qualifies and does this for you, then all you have to do is just get on those calls and then be pre-qualified. But in the beginning, and I think I would have that expectation once I'm like one of the top closers wherever I go, right? Then I'll be entitled to be like, listen, I don't want to be doing all of this BS. I did it in the beginning of my career. Now I just want hot leads in my calendar and I just want to show up and close them. And that's the goal. But if you don't have any experience, you can't be throwing around like those kind of demands, right? Because essentially they're going to be like, who are you?
Fucking.
It's a fun journey.
So what I'm curious about now is like, did you get all of this sales training from the company you're working for, or did you do like a course or watch YouTube videos, or what was your training?
A bit of both. I watched some YouTube videos. My friends that were closed. I wish I was kind of given access to a course. I watched like half of it because I wasn't taking it that seriously. If I was to kind of go back, what I'd say is find a course. Go through, because the course is kind of put it all packed together. In YouTube videos, you're getting like tidbits here and there, but it just doesn't make any sense. It's all over the place, like with everything.
I've conglomerated the 30 top closing videos already in a spreadsheet. Because I've been going through the past few months and looking at the Dan Locks, the Hormozis, the Cardones, all the live calls, and I'm like giving that away in the Discord and stuff. Yeah.
So if you find a framework that you like, because there's different frameworks, different things, depends on the product. Find one, study it, and then it comes down to practice, just taking course. Because you can read and study as much as you want.
Yeah.
When it comes to the event, when it's showtime.
You can watch videos about how to shoot a basketball.
Yeah.
When it's showtime. You're good if you can get those reps in.
And you might be like hitting threes and dunking when it's just you on the court in practice. But when you're in the playoffs and it's under pressure, and you have to deal with that, right? So when you're on a call and someone's handling objections and like you haven't studied, or you've studied it, but this is a slightly different objection, or it sounds like a smoke screen. So you think you're handling the objection, but that's not the real objection. So you're kind of playing in their BS essentially. That comes with experience. So you either take enough practice calls. Again, it's still not going to be the same as a real call. Listening to real calls, very, very, just seeing the kind of how someone does discovery, how someone handles objections, how they agree with the prospect, right? Oh, that's a lot of money. Yeah, it's a significant investment. And, have you invested in something like this before? Oh, well, have you ever taken out a mortgage or your college degree, right? And how did you feel? You were paying off a long time. But so you don't, like, no, it's not, you can't afford 5K?
Well, 10K is not that much. If you look at it, your car is more,
Yeah. Because then they're just going to think, oh, you just don't understand me. Right? Like, it might not be for you, but I've got 5 kids, blah, blah, blah. So, there's that. You learn that through essentially when you're doing door-to-door, getting door slammed in your face. You then learn, okay, if I say this, it might trigger them. Right?
Yeah.
I've derailed some calls by just saying one or two things wrong, and then the tone changes, and comes from experience. But absolutely, if I'd go back, I'll take it seriously and do a course first.
Okay, so course, and this is what I'm trying to wrap around in, and how can I optimize a past version of myself that just finished college or even in college. I realize I want to be remote. I want to do this. So get a video course. I think that's kind of no-brainer for anything you want to learn. Yeah. Fun fact, I've been learning how to swim on this one YouTube channel, and I'm like, I'm fucking great now. I still need to get the reps in, and I'm improving every day, but I learned the basics. It clicked in my head of how to swim properly, and I love swimming now. And so that's just
send that to me, because I need to learn. I need to learn properly.
I sent it to Jeremy, who just left. I sent it to him. He had this Russian girl teaching him, like, bro, this YouTube channel, you can learn swimming on it. It's crazy. And you can learn how to shoot a basketball, and you can learn how to hit a baseball, but you still got to get the reps in. Okay, so we're talking video course, right, to learn. And then, there's look for a cold calling job or an appointment setting job is kind of the two most common things I'm seeing.
Yeah, I would say if you're doing appointment setting, you're one step ahead of the process. Like if you think about a funnel, you're higher up in the funnel, right? So you're setting appointments. So you're doing a bit of the pre-qualification, and you're setting appointments for the closers, right? There's less pressure on you. You're more likely to have a base salary because you're not doing any closing. Yeah, right? It's more like a traditional kind of job, but you're still within the environment of closing. So if you get an appointment setting job, you can then listen to the top closers in your company and how they're closing deals, and then you might be able to transition from that appointment setting job into being a closer.
That's the path. Yeah. Whereas cold calling, are you familiar or know anyone that has done cold calling remotely?
Not remotely. It's rough.
Many guys do it in corporate. It's a completely different style of call. Because the trick to that is your opening line. Yeah. And it's like, who the fuck even is this person? Yeah. So I'm saying to some guys that's not a bad option, because there are opportunities out there, and it is not a bad option because it's similar to door-to-door sales, where it just practices your communication skills at the end of the day. Okay, there's closing skills like what we talked about on this podcast, but there's also just getting used to rejection, and there's also just like straight up just getting used to talking to people. Yeah. And so
some people are rude.
Some people, and but a lot of people are super nice. Yeah, exactly. Most people are super nice.
Exactly, and it's like you'll take 10 calls, 9 of them like they're agreeable or pleasant or like really, really nice. That one person that's like super rude is the one that you'll think about, right? So getting used to washing off any bad calls, like mentally, not carrying it into the next call. So if you do cold calling, you're gonna get that experience.
You're gonna get smashed.
Yeah, and you develop thick skin, and that's what you need. Yeah. There'll be times where lead flow dries up, they've changed something in the funnel and it's broken, or or the ads stop working or whatever, right? So
better than cold calling, I should frame it to warm calling. And there's plenty of warm calling out there. Okay, this is where you can work for, let's say Grant Cardone, for example, and you call their old leads. So you're not. An appointment setter would be where like it's an introductory call, right? And you're just quickly qualifying them. Okay, great. Okay, so for the call with Jerry tomorrow on the consultation, just do this. It's like a quick qualifying call. Yeah. For a warm caller, you might be calling their leads. Maybe they're on the email list, but maybe they haven't booked a call at all. Yeah. And your goal is to get them to the introductory call. Right. And so there's plenty of opportunity out there. Though. That got for
they basically for that they open up the CRM. I have to go now. I have to get to the airport. But
open up CRM and they're just calling the list.
Yeah. So what happens is, if you're, and this happened in my first job, if you're shit basically, and I was shit. First you get the great good leads. Oh, you can't close. Okay, you can move to our B team, where you get the not so good leads or the shit leads as well. Mm-hmm. And then they also will open up the CRM for you, and they've got 10,000, 20,000 leads in the CRM. Most of them have never booked a call. They bought a product or they were interested or whatever. Yeah. They've got their details, never worked. So the pressure on you closing them is lower because they are not hot leads,
Yeah.
right?
And
So
that would
that's
be an
good.
outbound situation.
Yeah, yeah.
An
So
outbound
you'll be
situation
outbound
is,
team.
is good to start, guys.
Yeah. So like if you want to just get in and be, because it's just about getting into the door and then hearing what the top closers for that product or service are doing, because it's going to change. Every offer is going to have a different. There's similarities, but there's going to be a different style. Like I've done purely phone call, no video interaction. I've done Zoom. I think I prefer Zoom. Like you can see the person, they can see
for
you
sure.
and stuff like that.
I would for sure.
But every offer is going to be different. So you just want to get in, whether you get in through being a closer, that you're going to have the most pressure there because your numbers are key, or appointment center, or being on the outbound team. And it allows you to then listen to what the top closers are and you can learn from that. But you still need to go in understanding objection handling, building rapport, discovery.
And you can learn that on some great courses.
Understanding the purpose of your questions, how to do it efficiently. You don't want to ramble on in discovery and spend. I used to do that. My calls, my first job, were the longest. Right?
Yeah.
I used to use tools like Gong, where it would analyze your call length, right? And mine was double the average, right? Which is bad. So it means I wasn't able to take as many calls as other people, so I'm closing less deals, making less money.
Were you doing outbound at first, you mean? Or
no, I was doing inbound.
So you started for inbound, but they allowed you to do that because they just interviewed you. They could tell that you're a good communicator, and then boom, put you straight to inbound. And you had the referral from your friend. He vouched for you.
Yeah. I mean, if you're applying, you've got no one on the inside that knows you, etc. Then you're probably not going to be given hot leads on the inbound.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, guys, you got to be real with yourself where you're at. If you have no closing experience, same call close, you're going to be looking at starting with outbound. Get a course, look on Upwork, ZipRecruiter, Facebook groups, like I've been saying in the videos, Instagram DMs, and start with the outbound situation, work your way up, and you can do that side hustle, whether you're in school, at a job, whatever.
Absolutely. If you're doing it straight from outside, cold, you don't know anyone in it, it's going to be a better experience starting with outbound because there's less expectation, and you get familiar, you get comfortable just being on the phone. If you jump into inbound like I did and you're on a sales team meeting and everyone's talking about their projections, their numbers, and this is all new to you and you're like, what the fuck? So, and they give you 30 days, right, to kind of hit a 20 to 30% closing rate, or you're off the team. So, and it's 100% commission. So if you're not closing and you're not getting paid anything, if you don't have runway, that's important as well. If you don't have runway if I was to start from scratch again, I would build up 6 months of runway. I would commit mentally for 5 years, and I would do a course before I get in. And what that does is, this is a career of 5 years at least. So if I'm not killing it in the first month, like everyone I heard online, it's fine, because this is just the beginning. But when you kind of go in expecting to be hitting 10, 20, or even 5K, depending on what your offer is. If you go in expecting that and you make like $500 or $400, then you're like, I can't survive on this. And I think a lot of people are going to make that mistake. They're going to fly to Asia. Hey, I'm here, guys. What do I do? Oh, okay, I've got this closing job. This is hard. Wait, what? Why are people buying? Oh, shit, what else? Like, the first job I did, my microphone was bad. I was using my Bluetooth headphones, so they couldn't hear me. People were like, I can't hear you. You sound terrible. I listened back to my calls, and it sounded atrocious. And I was like, no wonder I didn't close. And you only learn that through experience. So you need runway. It's very similar to running a business, right? You need to know how much cash you have without anything coming in.
Save up 6 months of cash. That's exactly what I did when I quit my door-to-door job, so I could go back easy. But I saved about 6 months, came to Chiang Mai. FBA actually ended up working out about around month 5. But this can be done, nights and weekends on the side of your job. And
Exactly.
Guys do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I've been doing it as well. I got in. I already had a remote job before, for a year. And I've still got that one. So I've been doing that. That was my own base salary, right? So that because I didn't want to downgrade my lifestyle. I didn't want to go back to 7 years ago, like when I first got to Chiang Mai, and I was excited about 3,000 baht a month for a room. I don't want to go anywhere near
$100 a month for
that kind of lifestyle. So,
well, hey, started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep leveling up, man.
Dude, and you're about to fucking level up, bro. That's why I'm like, fuck, I gotta be doing closing, not agency, bro.
Yeah,
But now my new goal is, where the fuck is my high ticket program that I can have my own sales team build it? And so I do with my agency. I mean, we sell 2.5K a month, like subscriptions, but it's not exactly scalable because it's managing the clients. But if you have something, whether it's more of a selling of a video course or it's more of a selling a group coaching model, I think it's more scalable than B2B PPC management, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I got.
Because you're still in the weeds of managing their account, right?
Yeah. There's more scalable high ticket models, and
yeah.
So we'll see what comes up over the next 5 years. But I love creating videos. This is my highest and best value. So, but we're all learning and leveling up.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the camera. I forgot it was off.
Yeah, so
the camera's off. This is audio only.
but yeah,
Good shit, bro.
I'm looking forward to when we catch up again. Let's see where we're at.
Yeah. Maybe Brazil. Who knows?
Rush to the airport now.
Yeah. Yeah, call it.
Living that life. We just living that life. Talking plus living that life. We just living that life. You're listening to the Living That Life Digital Nomad Podcast. Hit the subscribe button on iTunes if you're a boss. And check out the YouTube channel for dope travel videos. Let's get it.